And we're back for our daily NBA predictions and best bets here on the channel for April 22nd. 3 games today in the National Basketball Association for the playoffs. Obviously, all game 2s. The Indiana Pacers take on the Milwaukee Bucks at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. In Oklahoma City, the Grizzlies take on the Thunder. And the nightcap in Los Angeles, Timberwolves Lakers game 2. Maybe the most shocking result of the first game 1s was Timberwolves Lakers. We'll see if the Lakers can get their get back tonight and a much needed game number 2 for the Lake Show. Anyways, folks, before we get into the best bets, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA content here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our MLB best bets. Make sure you go check that out. That's linked in the description down below. And earlier this week on Greedo Plays MMA, we posted our UFC Fight Night Kansas City full card predictions. Ian Machado Gary and the Fighting Nerd Zone, Carlos Prates go at it in the welterweight division. Go make sure to check out that video, link in the description down below, and go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA while you're at it as well. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers over there. Let's make it happen. Okay, first of 3 games today, we start things off in Indianapolis, Indiana for the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks. The biggest storyline coming out of this game is if Damian Lillard will play or not. I think there's a chance, right? I originally thought Dame was just coming back for game number 3. I thought it just makes sense, right? Again, come back for Milwaukee, or in Milwaukee, obviously. Maybe he's back tonight. I personally don't think it really matters. What is Dame going to be like in his first game back? That's what I'm saying. I don't think Dame's first game back, especially if it's tonight's going to be that huge. Because he's already being pushed back early, I think. Again, I know the entire reasoning for him not coming back right now is conditioning or whatnot, because he was completely out of action for a while. What is Dame going to be in his first game back? We can expect him to be a lot better in his second game, but in Dame's first game, I don't really expect too much. And that's still an if Lillard is going to play or not tonight. Now, obviously, help is needed on Milwaukee. You look at this team. Look what Giannis did in game 1. 36 points. Yes, he's horrible at the free throw line, 8 for 15. I think the Indiana faithful is getting in his head a little bit. I know, again, pretty much every city he goes to, they count the free throws, but there's something behind this Pacers-Bucks series, obviously, and I don't know. I feel like that's kind of in his head a little bit. Regardless, on the stat sheets, Giannis played a good game. It wasn't his best game, but it's a game that he needed to have if the Bucks are going to be anywhat competitive without Damian Lillard. The thing is, I don't even think with Lillard on the court, they don't stand a chance. I think even if Lillard was fully healthy, I still think the Pacers win this series in 5 games. Indiana is miles ahead of Milwaukee. And if the Pacers continue to shoot like the way that they do, especially in the first half, they did cool off in the second half, I'll say that. But in the first half, that team continues to shoot the way that they shoot. Oh my goodness. The shots Siakam hits, the shots that Miles Turner hits. And they did all of that, by the way, and their best player, Tyrese Halliburton, went 0 for 7 from the 3-point line. I'm not concerned about Halliburton. I know how good that guy is. He's the new point guard, 12 assists in that game. Halliburton with 10, 12, and 7. Okay. That's just a Tyrese Halliburton stat line some nights. But when Halliburton does hit those shots, and when Tyrese Halliburton does not go 3 for 13 from the field, and when he doesn't go 0 for 7 from the 3-point line, yeah, the Pacers are a problem. They won that game by 19 points, and Halliburton went 0 for 7 from the 3-point line. If he hits half of those shots, we're looking at a whole different narrative, right? Indiana, I firmly believe is that good. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I've been saying it for a long time. I think they're beating the Cavs in the second round. I've been called a Pacers glazer before, and that's fine, but this is how good this team can be. They're a deep team as well. I like the bench unit. TJ McConnell's a scrappy player. Benedict Mathurin didn't have a great game 1. Obviously, he didn't play in the playoffs last year due to injury, but Mathurin now here for the playoff run. Obi Toppin's been good this year. Thomas Bryant gives them big moments in spots. Same with Jarris Walker. Carlisle's still going 10-man rotation. I know, again, the only bench player who really plays big minutes is Mathurin. But still, you're going to get sparse minutes out there with a McConnell, with the Thomas Bryant, with an Obi Toppin or whatnot, and that's fine. I don't think Damian Lillard really changes the series for me personally. I think the Pacers are much better, right? You look at this team, you look at the shooting that they've got, and also, okay, yes, Dame comes back and plays. Okay, great. Kyle Kuzma's still a liability offensively. The Pacers can leave him wide open, and it doesn't matter. They can send him to the free throw line, and it doesn't matter. He can't hit any shot. Taurean Prince was invisible in that last game. He put up the Tony Snell line, basically. He took 1 shot the entire game and played 20 minutes. Brook Lopez will have his moments, but I'm afraid Miles Turner is just better. And then who's playing the 1? Kevin Porter Jr., Orion Rollins. You're going to get Bobby Portis off the bench. None of these guys can hit their shots. Gary Trent is a spark. I'd argue Gary Trent should probably be starting if Dame's not playing today. I think this Bucks team's just they're all out of whack right now, and it's just I don't know. I don't think I said it going into the series. I don't think it's a good matchup for them. I think the Pacers can outrun them the entire game, and that's exactly what they're going to do. The quarter that changed it all in game one was the second quarter, right? First quarter fairly close. Indiana closed on a nice run. They're up by 8. In that second quarter, though, man, I mean, Indiana really takes over the big three-point shooting. And Pascal Siakam, I mean, one of the league's more underappreciated stars, right? I mean, you look at Indiana, the face of this team is obviously Tyrese Halliburton, Team USA, whatnot, obviously, big superstar for them. But Pascal Siakam, I mean, I think it can't go, it has to be noted the work he's doing for the squad. It's something that changed their season last year. Yes, the Pacers were good the first half of the season, but what put them over the top and made them a title challenger was the trade for Pascal Siakam, right? When they got Spicy P, hell, I was at Pascal Siakam's Pacers debut. Anyways, I was really excited. Regardless, I think the Pacers beat the Bucks here. I think they cover. I really think they do. I think they're just better than Milwaukee. I don't know what the Bucks offer them, honestly, in this spot. There's only so much Giannis can do, and even when Dame is back on the court, great. Sure, that's going to help, but is Dame going to make up 19 points in one game? In terms of he's going to close that 19-point gap? I don't think so. Because even when Dame's in the court, you still have to play Kyle Kuzma. You still have to play these other guys. Yeah, Brook Lopez is there. He'll hit his deep pocket three every once in a while. Miles Turner is a better center than Brook Lopez is. I don't know who needs to hear that, but it's true, right? And especially Miles Turner at his best. And then you get, again, the lineup that they're running right now, there's one effective scorer on the court. It's Antetokounmpo. Taurean Prince cannot be relied on. Kyle Kuzma definitely can't be relied on. Brook Lopez will hit his shot every once in a while. Ryan Rollins is not there to score. And then you bring off, all your scorers are off the bench then. Gary Trent, can we consider KPJ a scorer? Not really. AJ Green, who took 11 3-pointers and hit 5 of them in that game against the Pacers in game 1. AJ Green hit more 3-pointers by himself than the entire Bucks team other than him did. He hit 5. The Bucks hit 9. They have a problem. They can't shoot. They're completely, no pun intended, they're outpaced in this game. They're outmatched. Give me the Pacers to completely decimate the Bucks. The Bucks' best chance is going back to Milwaukee in this series and just hoping they can get a game or two. I don't think they're going to get more than one. I think they're going to get game 4. I think Indiana closes it in game 5, personally. We'll see. If Dame plays, yeah, I'll help them out. I don't think it makes a difference, personally. Indiana's just that much better. We need to start looking at the Pacers as a serious threat to win the entire thing. Because that's exactly what they are. I don't know if they can get over that Boston hump, but Indiana's legit. I've been saying it for months. They are legit. Okay, so move on to our next game. I guess the Grizzlies and Thunder play basketball today. I guess that's going on. But I think what we need to do instead of that is just appreciate that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, we get to watch him play basketball today. This guy is the best player on the planet. He only needs to play 20 minutes, and his team still wins a playoff game by 50 points. It speaks to the aura that gravitates around Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. His teammates play better because of him. That's greatness right there out of Shai, right? I'm just saying. I think we need to start getting used to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think we need to start naming our kids after Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. If you have a boy, name him Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. A girl Gilgeous-Alexander. Anything in between, they Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't know. Anyways, that's how great Shai is. Maybe don't name your kids after the guy. I don't know. Maybe do that. Regardless, Shai's that elite. And he doesn't even need to really play this series. He doesn't. He doesn't need to play the series against the Grizzlies. The Thunder's bench unit might be able to sweep. They wouldn't sweep. They'd win a 7-game series against Memphis, I think. I don't know. No. The Thunder bench unit plus J-Dub and Hartenstein, I think, win this series. Anyways, that's not going to happen, obviously. Guys, Shai scored 15 points against the Grizzlies in game 1, and they still won by 50 points. This Thunder team, they play elite defense. The Grizz had, only one quarter where they scored more than 20 points, which in this day and age, my goodness, right? I mean, Desmond Bane had a plus-minus of minus 51 in this game. I mean, I don't know what the Grizzlies can do. And, Ja's, I guess, confident, somewhat. I mean, you have to be. Morant said, none of this will matter after we win game 2, and then it's all tied up going back to Memphis. Sure. That's the mindset you need to have, obviously. I just don't know how they beat OKC. Watching that game one, I mean, the Thunder are better defensively. They're a better scoring team. And with the exception of, Ja Morant and an occasional Desmond Bane performance, there's nobody that the Grizzlies have that is better than anyone the Thunder are going to have in their starting lineup. It's just true. Zach Edey cannot be a dominant force in this game. He will continue to get picked on this entire series, and he'll get bullied down low. He'll get rebounds, sure. But other than that, I mean, he's not going to be able to score against this team. The Grizzlies are going to be forced to take Edey out in a lot of spots in this series. They're just going to have to. And then, because they're just going to, again, the Thunder, when they need to get a bucket, they will just switch they'll switch Shea on Zach Edey, and then it's game over, obviously. It's an easy midi. Or if not, if Edey bites, okay, Shea can just drive to the hoop. He can get to the rim against anybody, obviously, right? So that will create for more Santi Aldama minutes, or Conchar minutes, likely Santi Aldama, which again, we've said it before, it presents a three-point shooting presence for Memphis that they don't have when Zach Edey's in the court. But at the same time, guys, Jaren Jackson needs to shoot, almost a perfect night for them to have a chance, because that, again, changes how OKC deals with them defensively, how that's changed how the Warriors and even the Mavs played the Grizzlies in the play-in round, because, it's dependent on Jaren Jackson's shooting. Well, when the guy goes 0 for 4 from the three-point line and performs like he did hell in that Warriors game as well in the play-in, he's not a threat, so you can just leave him open, and sure, he'll hit 1 out of every 6, but ultimately, you'll just take your chances with that. If Jaren Jackson, at this point, it's gotten to the point where if Jaren Jackson beats you from the three-point line, you tip your hat and say, okay, sure, it is what it is. Because the thing is, Jaren Jackson won't do that to you in 4 games. He won't. Ja did not have a good night. He goes 1 for 6 from the three-point line. Desmond Bane goes 1 for 6 from the three-point line. Scottie Pippen goes 1 for 9 from the field, 0 for 4 from the three-point line. You have to hit your threes against the Thunder. You have to boat race them. That's the only way you can beat this team. Because, guys, their bench unit basically put up 131 points against the Grizzlies. Aaron Wiggins, who's a very capable basketball player and a good basketball player, led this team in points off the bench. 26 minutes, 21 points. SGA was their 4th leading scorer behind Wiggins, J-Dub, Chet, and then SGA, who did not have a good game. But again, they can win games like this without SGA even being great. So imagine what happens when SGA's at his best. Honestly, guys, I've been the biggest Lakers guy this entire year. I still think they're the best chance to beat OKC. We'll see what happens today, obviously, and we'll get to that in a few moments. I don't know who beats the Thunder in a 7-game series. This might be an overreaction because, it's just Memphis, and it's a dysfunctional Memphis after they fired their head coach, and Ja's been, in and out of the lineup, and same with Jaren Jackson throughout the entire year. They've been a very injured group. Jalen Wells, finalist for the Rookie of the Year, is out for the season. I get that. I think this would be a lot of teams in the West right now. And I will say yes, if this was Golden State, this would be them too. If this was Denver, this would be them as well. I'll say if this is Houston, this is them too. There are a few teams in the West I think that can really compete with OKC. I think it's only 2, personally. I just think yes, I believe in the Lakers. I think it's the Lakers and the Clippers are the only 2 teams that can compete with OKC. Tonight, they're going to blow out the Grizzlies again. And then the main message coming out of this game in Game 2 is going to be, okay, this one is going to continue to be on NBA TV because nobody cares anymore because we know what's going to happen. And can we just make this a best of 5? Because we don't need to see it again. OKC wins it easy. Let's move on. Thunder in 4. Again, I think the Clippers give them a challenge. Again, Kawhi's great in the playoffs. But this is one of the best teams ever assembled. And it's not like they just went out and, we signed Kevin Durant. No. All these guys came in through, again, they're developmental. Or they drafted most of these guys. They traded for a young Shea. Sure, they signed a veteran Hartenstein, but this is a great team. Final game of the day. We move to Los Angeles, California, Lakers, Timberwolves. Yes, I'm taking the Lakers to cover 5.5 points. I don't think this game's close. I know. After you look at game 1, you say, the Lakers got blown out. Sure, 100%. I understand it happened. It is what it is. I don't think the Lakers lose another game in this series. If they do, it's going to be probably game 4, I think. Because that's a day game, if I'm not mistaken. That's the one they might lose. I think they still win in 5, personally. I think so. You know, fetish size, telling lies, credit-wise, Lakers in 5. I mean, I still think they're okay. I know that game 1 was atrocious, but guys, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they ended the game shooting 50% from the three-point line. They went 21 for 42. They broke a franchise record for most three-pointers hit in a single game for Minnesota. That's not going to continue to happen. It's just not. That was just one of those games. It just was. Julius Randle couldn't miss. Jaden McDaniels couldn't miss. Naz Reid could not miss a single shot. It was one of those games. I don't think they can do that 4 times. I just don't think so. I don't think they can do that 4 times. And the Lakers arguably played their worst game in a long time. Now, I don't know why Jackson Hayes doesn't play. I get it. You know, you want to be able, you know, to be able to run the floor and whatnot. I don't care what it is. Jackson Hayes does not. He needs to play more than 8 minutes. Why is he playing 8 minutes a game? That's ridiculous. I get it. You know, sometimes we want to play small. We want to play DFS more. We want to play Vando more for better, you know, for whatnot, you know. But what, we're just going to continue to play, you know, DFS or Braun or Rui on Gobert? I know Gobert's not a scoring threat, but we can't get a rebound to save our lives. Jackson Hayes needs to play more. He just does, right? I saw Jaden McDaniels grab 4 offensive rebounds in that game. It's just, and again, it's not always Gobert grabbing those rebounds, but it's just Gobert's presence, his force of boxing out and tipping stuff. Obviously, it creates for more opportunities for Minnesota. Okay, guys, the Timberwolves will not continue to perform this way. If they do win today, though, I'm going to be scared. I'm not going to lie to you, right? If the Timberwolves win this game too, I'm going to be nervous. I'm just going to. Because Lakers going on the road down 2-0. Yeah, no, they need to win this game. They need to. Now, LeBron James teams, and especially LeBron James Lakers teams, are known for losing game 1. I'll take you back to 2020. I get it's the bubble, but still. That first round, Lakers play the Trailblazers, the 8 seed. They lose game 1, end up winning in 5. Second round, they lose game 1 to James Harden and the Rockets. They win that series in 5. I've seen this before. LeBron James teams historically have always had a figure it out process in the first game. I'm not concerned. Also, I think Ant messed up by taunting in Luka's face. Like, you just don't do that to a guy like Luka Doncic, who was literally the only impact player for the Lakers in game 1. He just was. I don't want to harp on this team too much because ultimately I like all these guys in this team for the most part. No, I do, honestly. So I'm not going to harp on my favorite team that much, but I will say Luka needs help out there. I was very disappointed in how LeBron James played in game 1. I think LeBron lost us the game in the second quarter. And sure, the guy's still the greatest basketball player of all time. I don't care what anybody says. We need more out of LeBron, though. And I think LeBron himself would tell you that. AR, you look at the stat sheet, okay, he has 16 points and 5 for 13 shooting. It doesn't look like a horrible game. AR did not show up in that game. He made a lot of stupid mistakes as well. And again, it's the 4 LeBron turnovers that really suck too. Also, Gabe Vincent and Dorian Finney-Smith need to score more than 3 points, okay? I saw DFS and Vincent both hit 3-pointers in the late first quarter, early second quarter, and we're thinking, okay, this is going to be light work for us, up by 7 going into the second. And then those guys just didn't get any more opportunities, and they didn't hit any more threes. Okay, so those are some big factors. We need to get Vincent and DFS going. Jackson Hayes needs to play more. Luka needs to continue to do his thing. He was great, obviously, 37 points. He's doing everything. And then LeBron James needs to get his stuff together. And AR just needs to continue to shoot the ball well. I'm fine with this, guys. JJ, I don't know how much you want to buy into this. JJ Redick did say their practice yesterday was the best practice they've had all year and a much needed great practice. But teams like this, in terms of like the Lakers, again, they're 4.5-point favorites tonight, 5.5, 4.5, whatever you get it as. I think they blow them out tonight. Again, they understand the magnitude of this game. You lose game 2 to the Timberwolves at home, you're going back to Minnesota. Sure, is the series over? Likely not, because you probably get 1 in Minnesota, but then you dig yourself into a hole of, okay, we got to win, we got to come back from down 3-1 likely. Or we got to win 3 out of the last 4 games. We got to win the last 3 games in general. Or I guess if you win game 3, then you got to win 3 out of the last 4. They understand the magnitude of this game. I firmly believe that. I don't think LeBron's going to let them lose this game, and I don't think Luka Doncic will let them lose this game as well. And again, I think Ant screwed up by taunting in Luka's face. On top of that as well, Minnesota will not continue to set franchise playoff records for most three-pointers hit in a game. They're not going to. The end result, yes, they shot 50% from the three-point line. They were well above that for most of the game. They were in the 60s for most of that basketball game. That will not continue to go their way. The Lakers need to continue to play their game. They need to play better perimeter defense. Jackson Hayes needs to play more. And if LeBron James plays a better basketball game, they will win this game, okay? So if literally anybody else shows up other than Luka Doncic, they're going to be okay. Because again, in that game, game one, it was just Luka. DFS with 3 points, Gabe with 3 points, LeBron playing the way he did, not going to cut it. Play the entire game like they played the first quarter. That first quarter was great with the exception of, LeBron didn't score, okay? Let Luka do his thing and just help the guy out. So again, finish size, telling lies, credit-wise, Lakers in 5. They're going to get it done. And yes, they are winning every single game from here on out in this first-round matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So give me the Lakers, and I don't think the game's competitive at all. I think this is a statement game from Los Angeles. You're going to see it out of Luka and LeBron. So, folks, thank you all for watching our NBA predictions and best bets here for April 22nd. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank you all for watching, and Mamba forever.